Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Radio Free Jam. Let the dancing begin. Dance, dance, dance. Let the dancing begin. Dance, dance, dance. Radio Free Jam. Radio Free Jam. Radio Free Jam. Radio Free Jam.
Sit chocolate, Commodore fridge, Commodore fridge, Commodore fridge, chocolate, Commodore fridge. Sit chocolate, Commodore fridge, Commodore fridge, Commodore fridge, chocolate.
Radio Free Jam. Radio Free Jam.
And drink, drink straight out the bottle and drink, drink straight out the bottle and drink, drink straight out the bottle and drink.
Radio Free Jam.
Shake that ass, shake that ass, shake that
Radio Free Jam. Radio Free Jam.
I said close the window down, but I'm close the window down, but I'm close the window down, but I'm close.
Radio Free Jam. Radio Free Jam.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's Radio Free Jam, and that was a quick reminder for you that your dance themes are due today for the show next week, where we're going to do Radio Dance Jam, and we've got a competition. There's going to be a prize for the winner, and get your tracks in. I'll tell you what, I'll be generous. I'm feeling nice. If you're not in tonight, as long as you're in by about tomorrow lunchtime-ish, we're all good. I'm not going to argue too much, because I'm nice like that. Isn't that right, Darren?
Definitely, mate, definitely.
How you doing, sir? It's all about you tonight.
It's always about me. I don't know what you're on about.
Fair play, fair comment. So, mate, firstly, let me sort of say thank you. You are one of the few non-musicians who have joined us every week and have been a massive part of the show. You've co-hosted, I want to say twice, but it was really only once, because the first time you weren't really with us.
No, I've still not watched that back either, and I'm not going to.
Have you not?
No, definitely not going to.
You should, it's funny.
No, I don't care how funny it is. I don't need reminding.
So, good evening to everyone in the chat room. See you there. And, we're going to find out a bit more about Darren tonight. So, if you've got any questions, do feel free to drop them in the chat room, and I'll do my best to catch them and ask Darren. And Darren's in the chat room as well, so he'll see them too. Where should we start, Darren? Let's start with Mr. Bumble and your job there, and because that's how we know each other.
It is, yes. So how long have I been there? 3 years now, and it only started as just a stopgap to tie me over between two jobs, and 3 years later, I'm still there. I moved away. I still worked there. I come back and I still work there.
It's a bit more than a pub, isn't it? Really.
It definitely is. It's a family there. I call Phipps mum. Shit, I walk in. You're right, Mama Phipps.
Mama Phipps.
Yeah, Keith's just Keith.
Because Keith is just Keith. Let's be honest. That's how it works. And have you heard from the guys? I mean, obviously, this is a Bumbles thing. This is where we started all this. Have you heard from the pub? Are they good?
Yeah. So I saw Philippa on Saturday. She came to drop some stuff off to me. She's doing really well. Pub is still there. Everyone's doing really well. We talk at least once a week. All of us. We got our WhatsApp group where we all keep in contact with. We've got the actual pub chat as well, where all the customers keep in chat. I don't tend to follow that one so much because it's enough. It's just trying to keep up with one chat's enough.
That's the WhatsApp chap, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm on that. I mean, I really don't use WhatsApp a lot. And you said to me when I first was invited to that chat, mute
the conversation. Yeah.
So I did, and every time I pop into WhatsApp once in a while, maybe Yogi sends me something on there or something like that, I end up with 3,000 GIFs and memes downloading into my photo album, which I then have to spend half an hour deleting.
Yeah. You can change the setting on that.
Right.
I mean, your best bet's to have a word with that bloke that works at O2. Not sure of his name.
What's he called? Yeah, I'll have to look him up. I'll see if I can find him. And do you enjoy the pub work? Because I mean, I've done my fair share of bar work, and I find it quite rewarding.
I love it. Absolutely love it. I mean, I used to work, and I used to work in a pub that's not so far away from Mr. Bumble's. I mean, a lot of people generally fall out of Bumble's and fall into that one. The name shall not be mentioned, but it's just across the A30.
The Grill and Chill.
Yeah. Probably as clean, but I didn't say that live on air. Can we delete that?
No.
Shit. But yeah, I worked in there for 3-4 years, and I enjoyed it in there, but it's nothing like working for Bumble's. You're not on your own. Even on the nights that you are working on your own, you know that you've got another member of staff in that pub 9 times out of 10. If there's not another person in the pub that works there, the customers look after you. They'll collect the glasses. If you're running behind, you've always got Philippa and Keith upstairs, and 9 times out of 10 Morgan's upstairs, so you're never alone. And that's something that's been lacked in a lot of other pubs that I've worked in. But I have to say, Bumble's, I love working in there. I mean, I moved to Wales for 6 months, and when I was living up in Wales, I'd come back at the weekend, and I loved it. Not so much the travelling. I mean, there was one occasion that I left I left Cardiff at 5 o'clock and got into Bumble's at 2 o'clock. Not 2 o'clock, at 7 o'clock. So 2 hours.
Yeah, when do you get your licence back, Darren?
It was fine. It was fine. The roads were clear, and there was nobody else on the road, and I stuck to 70 mile an hour the whole way there. Apart from the A roads.
All you got to do is say allegedly, mate, and it's fine.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Yeah, it's all good. Allegedly, it took you 2 hours.
Yeah, definitely. On the clock, it took me 3. Honestly, Saz.
Honestly, yeah, remember, this is entertainment, people. It's purely entertainment. It's not necessarily factual, right?
No, definitely not.
What do you see? I mean, the future of pubs, where we're at now. What do you see happening?
As long as the pub's got a good following, a good community, and decent customers, but honestly, somebody decent that is running that pub, I think it will survive. Those that haven't got that, they're not going to be here. And unfortunately, the big companies like Wetherspoons are the only ones that are going to survive in the current situation that we're in. In the particular pubs that haven't got a decent team or support network. I think it's going to be tough times. There are things going on to actually support pubs, but who knows what's going to happen? Is it going to be enough? I bloody well hope so. because without the pub game, it's going to be a very different world for music and for just your general social network. It's gonna be tough.
Pubs have been the centre of communities for hundreds of years, probably thousands of years, if you want to look back through history. That whole meeting up, sharing food, sharing drink, entertainment, meetings and all sorts of stuff, they all took part around that central communal area, which was a bar or a pub of some kind.
I mean, we hold a charity event once a year, sometimes twice a year. We always have a Christmas event, but we always have an outdoor party in the summer. And we see people that you will only ever see on that day. But they will come in and they will spend money, and it is a massive community atmosphere there. And it's great. Don't get me wrong, you'll run off your feet from whatever time you get there to whatever time you finally get home. But it is bloody rewarding. And it is great fun, real good fun. As I say, I love the pub work, love it. It's just not a full-time job for me.
No, unfortunately, bar work with the hours that you get, it's not necessarily something you can do full-time. No,
definitely not. It's tiring. I mean, I used to finish at the barber shop at 4 o'clock, and I'd start the pub at 7 o'clock. And it works out, I worked it out, I used to be doing 17-hour days and then getting up on a Sunday and still going and cutting hair for another 6 hours. Great fun, but my God, I'm glad Mondays and Tuesdays were my day off.
Well, we will get to your work ethic in a minute and the things you've been getting up to during lockdown. But, I mean, music at the pubs, we know you enjoy it. So, who are some of your favourite bands on the circuit? Think carefully.
It's a difficult one because I don't actually have a favourite band. I just love the music. There are a few bands that I'm not going to name that I don't like and just won't turn up on those particular nights. They are none of the bands that we know and love from our group. But I love the ska music, so I do enjoy going down there when we have what is now the Pirates. There used to be, I can't remember.
Scar Souls.
That's it, Scar Souls.
They changed their name.
Yep, so they're now known as the Pirates because it's something to do with copyright on the Scar Souls name.
Okay.
I can't remember. I liked the punk stuff, so Sound of the Suburbs, which are now England's Dreaming. I do like them.
Shout out to Fran if she's listening.
Absolutely, yeah, Fran, we absolutely love Fran. She's been supporting the pub for a bloody long time as well, along with you guys. But then obviously there's the FreakJam community as well. So I love coming down and seeing musicians who musicians from bands that we don't generally get booked in. And a FreakJam night can be, as we've seen, anything from some bloke rocking up and playing to me, which is a cardboard box. It's apparently got a technical name. To somebody playing the bagpipes.
Yeah, we've had bagpipe players down here and cajon players and.
Yeah, that's what the cardboard box is called.
I knew where you were going with that.
But yeah, obviously there's the likes of yourselves from the Ashes and all of, and what's the other ones? The
Replicant.
Yeah, Replicant, definitely can't forget Paul. He'll be right upset if I forgot him. And then there's another band, isn't there? They like a chaser.
Yeah. What do they drink? Whiskey, is it? Whiskey
it.
shots. Is that the name of the band?
Oh, definitely not. Tequila Chase.
Tequila Chase. That was the one. And obviously, a lot of the bands that or a lot of people who have been in bands that play down Bumbles appear on the FreakJam here as well. And AWOL and who else we got? Obviously, Tetanus Jab.
Yes.
Can't forget Oggy. He'll get very upset.
God, blimey. He's got my number now as well. He'll be phoning me up in a right state.
And you have been known to get up and, what's the word I want? Vocalise sometimes. I'm not going to call it singing, Darren.
I don't know what you're on about. It never happened. I was drunk, so it never happened.
No, you were drunk, and it did happen. My son bore witness to it.
Yeah, about that. Sorry, Morgan.
It's all right. Morgan is under strict instructions. What happens at jam night stays at jam night.
And so he should be.
That's how it works.
He should be. I do also recall saying that he... Well, shit, no, because that means I'm admitting that I've taken the microphone. But yeah, I do recall saying that he's going to steal the show one day.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm relying on it, mate. I'm hoping my children will keep me in the manner I'm accustomed to, skin, so that they're going to both become musicians. It's, you know...
Yeah.
It's the way it is. So look, I've asked you to select some tunes throughout the show. So we'll have a song, and then we'll come back and we'll change topic and we'll talk a bit about the barbers and your mad business acumen during lockdown 1 and things like that. So let's start with the first song. And you know, I know you love this one, and I've actually sort of found this one for you. You asked for Sarah Harris Bradley, "Dreams on the Edge."
That's what it's called.
You weren't meant to say that, Darren. You meant to go, yes,
I'm
Ian,
honest.
that's right. Not
Yes.
Sarah's song. So we'll play that, and we'll come back and we'll have a chat about the business.
Yeah.
So many questions, such good intentions. The transformation of my fantasies are united in desperation, wrapped in illusion, tied in confusion. You knew just where to hurt me when my soul was weak. Is this a dream on the edge? Is this how you choose to live? I can't be part of this no more. United in fear. I need help to lift my spirits. Can you provide me with the help I need? Where's my sense of truce with you? Is this a dream on the edge? Is this how you choose to live? I can't be part of this no more. United in fear, you can't hide behind your excuses. What are your reasons for what you do? Where will that leave me? Who will I become? Is this a dream on the edge? Is this how you choose to live? I can't be part of this no more. United in fear.
And that was Sarah and Andy Bradley there with Dreams on the Edge, Darren's choice of song.
It's a bloody good choice too.
Bloody good choice too. I agree with that. And again, it's we've seen a lot of people going through the archives, finding old songs, remaking them, reworking them for the shows, and it's nice. It's nice that you've got some favourites now.
Definitely. I mean, it's great because I'd never met Sarah until she accused me of shitting out the window, and that was only on a Zoom call. And then I met her at the jam night, and she got up and sang. Well, not the jam night, sorry, the Templeton Pet gig, and she got up and sang. Bloody good night, that. Yeah.
There was a question in the forum earlier on the group. Basically, Sarah Sazzle was wondering how long you have been shitting out of windows, Darren.
Yeah, started about September.
September, so not long. Yeah. It's a relatively new habit.
Yeah, I mean, I only went for a crafty fag, and you lot just accused me of shitting out the window. hence why that I've repositioned the computer so you can't see me shitting out the window.
Probably a good idea. We can just hear it now as it hits the roses below.
By the way, guys, it doesn't happen. Anyone watching that doesn't know me, I don't shit out of windows.
I mean, you've been joining us on a lot of the quiz nights, and I have to say, thank you very much for introducing your mum to us, because your mum's awesome.
So people say.
We love Mama Wicks, and and we love Susie as well.
No, we don't.
Do you want to just have you got Susie there?
No. So I tried to find her, and she's not here.
You don't know where she is, do you, Darren?
No. So it's slightly worrying. I mean, she's not up on the wardrobe. No
chance she might sort of pull your bed covers back tonight and she'll be laying in the bed, staring at it with her one good eye.
Who knows? You never know with that thing. I'm
sure I've got a picture of her somewhere. I'll see if I can dig it out
you definitely
during the next song, and we can see if we can find her. Look, you came to me, I don't know, about 2 months into lockdown one, maybe a month and a half into lockdown one, and said, Ian, can you do some loyalty cards, please? And I was like, yeah, what for? And you're like, my business I'm opening the barbers. And my first reaction was, Darren, you do know we're in a national lockdown, right? And you were like, yeah, I know, I've got it sorted. And, you've gone on and opened your own barbers during this mad time.
Yeah, it's been bloody hard work, long hours, and more recently, some real stressful times of thinking, what the hell's going to happen? But luckily, with the support of the landlord that I've got, very understanding and will look after me.
Good.
I hope that I will reopen when we're released from our cells. What it feels like, anyway.
So your business is the Tonsorium Lounge, and you're a gentleman's grooming service.
Yes.
Do you manscape?
No.
Had to ask, because I thought we might be able to sort of find some hookup with you and Rob somewhere.
No.
No?
I mean, the only person other than yourself that's just asked that, I mean, Sarah Harris Bradley's previously asked, but I'm not sure that can be called manscaping.
No.
No.
Ladyscaping.
Well, yeah. That's...
Woo manscaping.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. But yeah. So, I mean, you're a barber, basically.
Yes. Basically, in a nutshell, I'm a barber. That's what I've done for the past 6 years. Ask me, if you were to have asked me nearly 18 months ago, do you ever think you'll have your own barbershop? I'd have laughed in your face and said, nope, I'm not that stupid. And now I have to admit that I am stupid, but I'd say brave.
I'd say brave, mate. I mean, maybe a little bit stupid as well, but
Definitely
we like the little bit of stupid. It's fine. But certainly, I said to you, because you don't just do the barbers, you work at Bumbles. You're also involved with Di's little business enterprise that you've got involved with. And, you also do other bits and pieces, which we'll get to in a minute. But, I mean, how do you juggle all of this?
Lots of Red Bull, because I don't do coffee. And just get on and do it. Luckily, with the pub, with the way things have been since I've opened my business, the pub's been not had the hours there for me. Not that I'm complaining. I'd much rather the hours went to those that have got the kids and need the hours. I'm quite happy sitting on the other side of the bar and drinking. But yeah, since having opened the barbershop, I've not really had to spend much time working in the pub. Well, not been able to either, but it's still long hours because I still work in another barbershop. So sometimes, I finish at the barbershop I work for at 6 o'clock and head straight to my one, and normally do my first haircut at 6:30, and some nights I can still be there at 9 o'clock, 9:30. So long days. And just for everyone's clarification, I'm a barber, not a hairdresser, Jessica Finelli.
Do I know Jessica?
There's a chance you've met her, but she's actually my brother's girlfriend.
Right.
Who loves to give me lots of abuse.
Fair play.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be done.
Technically your sister-in-law.
Yeah,
or am I pushing
much.
Boundaries a little bit there?
I mean, she's all right.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Just don't take her to the pub and give her 3 bottles of wine and a packet of Twiglets, because it's all going to come back out in your car.
Yeah, but in all fairness, most of the people we know would be like that, Darren. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but hopefully they do it outside of the car, not in the car.
Oh, the stories we could tell about Lisa Lee, but I mean she's not here to defend herself, so that's not fair.
Yeah, that's not fair. That's not fair. What are the stories?
Later. Because we did try and get Lisa on tonight, and you basically said if she couldn't do it, you'd step in. So thanks for that and stepping up. Hopefully we'll get Lisa on another week and have a bit of fun with that as well. And we can tell them stories then for everyone to hear. Yeah.
Definitely. Got to be done. Got to be done.
Jess says, cheers, babe.
Yeah. That's all right, Jess.
So
you've just brought a new car. I'll get you back.
Oh, like that, is it? So, when did you start barbering? Why did you start barbering? I mean, have you trained? I mean, is it just you just pick up a scissors and cut someone's hair one day and went, do you know what, I'll do this?
Well, that's what I thought it would be like, but it turns out it's not as easy as that.
Right.
So I had been in and out of various different trades, various different jobs for a long time. I'd spent a period of time as a manager for Tesco's. I then decided that I think it'd be a great idea to go and work for Nissan and be a car salesman. Really didn't like that one. Left there, and well, 2 weeks after leaving Nissan, I started a course to train as a barber, and that was, I believe, 6.5 years ago. In fact, it'll be 7 years in April, and I've not looked back. I go to work and still enjoy my job, and you learn something new every day. You really do. The trends change so bloody often. You've got to keep up, and it's a real good fun job. I mean, it's great because it's like doing quick fire interviews with people. You've got 20 minutes. You've got 25 minutes with a person. You get as much information out of them as you possibly can, and get to know them as well as you can. Just so the next time that they come in, you give them a nice welcoming, and the customer doesn't feel like, oh, don't want to come back here again. Even if you don't remember their name. All right, mate. It's fine. That's how I do it anyway.
You don't have a problem with talking, though, Darren?
No, definitely not.
So you're in the right job, and do you get a lot of people coming in and giving you their life story and looking for advice? Yeah.
I've although I've never really followed it myself, I've given lots of relationship advice, marriage counselling. Know sod all about marriage. I've never been married. My girlfriend's pregnant. What do I do? Well, let's hope it's yours. That one doesn't go down too well. It doesn't work so well, that one. But it does what it just made you do, laugh. But normally it's a very nervous laugh, and that's when you realise maybe that relationship's not so good, but you don't want to tell them halfway through a haircut, especially when you're about to use your scissors.
And come on, what's one of the funniest things you've heard? No names mentioned. Change the names to protect the innocent. But what's one of the funniest things someone said to you while sat in that chair?
The funniest one, I have to say, I've had a transgender person, well, trans female to a male, and when they were explaining what, not that I needed to know, but they felt the need that I needed to know the ins and outs of their transition, and I generally honestly thought that they'd already had the breasts removed. They turned around and said to me, "Nope, I've not. Here's proof. I was never never gifted in size." Well, that person keeps coming back, and I just don't know how to approach that situation again, and I'm never going to. But at the time, if you were there, it's one of those. If you were there to hear the lead up to the what happened, it's fucking hilarious because she just went, "Have a look for yourself, love." And I'm standing there, and I've got the clippers in my hand, and I was just like, I've just got to stop and walk out the room and make sure that did just happen.
That didn't look too suspicious now, did it, Darren?
Yeah, what did that really just happen? And what conversation do I start next? And I wasn't even halfway through the bloody haircut, so I still had another 20 minutes with this person in the room. But it was a proper icebreaker, and we've now formed a decent friendship, and I've made it clear that he is not to do that again.
Fair point. Common decency. Sarah is asking in the chat room, Darren, in your professional opinion, do you think the mullet will ever come back? #asking for a friend.
I bloody hope not. I really hope not. But I don't think Andy's going to have enough hair to grow one.
I can't imagine Mr. Andy Bradley with a mullet. Now there's a bit of Photoshop work that might need doing in the week. Just saying.
Yes.
I want to do Mulletober instead of Movember. Is that something you can organise?
Yeah, we'll have a go with that one.
Yeah, Mulletober.
Yeah.
Maybe that's something we can sort of push through you on Radio FreakJam. So in October, when we're in lockdown 10, maybe we can do that.
We've got our first sponsorship because Peffers has just said she'd pay to see it.
Oh, wicked!
Yep. So,
Right, so Pedders is sponsoring Mulletober, and that in conjunction with Radio Freak Jam and the Tonsorium Lounge. Awesome.
absolutely.
Gonna happen. I'm
Sure.
not getting one personally, but
Well, it's going back a little bit here, Ian. So
I'm in my 40s now, man. I'll tell you what, I am watching the grey roll in over Lockdown 3. It's, Lockdown 1, yeah, there was a few popping up. Lockdown 2, yeah, a few more. Lockdown 3, it's like, what the... That wasn't there last night.
yeah, but Ian, you're in your 40s. I'm not even in my 30s yet and going grey. So count yourself lucky.
Well, I'm going to do it gracefully. I'm going to be like Francis Rossi.
Yeah, luckily I know lots of hairdressers, so they can change the colour of my hair.
So with the Tonsorium Lounge, you've got 2 chairs.
Yeah, 2 chairs. So at the moment it is just me. Any hairdressers out there that want to use the space, get in contact, because there is a spare chair there available, and the wash basin will be plumbed in at some point. It's there and looks pretty, but it's got absolute no functional use at the moment. But I'm planning on growing the business a little bit further, and having previously worked as a trainer in the barbering industry, I'm looking to start doing that in my own place, doing it for myself, not for somebody else, and reaping the rewards that way.
Nice. Fantastic. So let's have some more music, and then I want to talk a bit about motor racing with you,
Yeah,
because you've done a bit of that as well, haven't you?
indeed.
And then we're going to talk about crocheting, because you've done a bit about that as well, haven't you?
Have I?
So again, very nicely, you asked for a frequency song, and you asked for Curse of
Yes.
Common Man. So we're going to play that, and then we'll be back in a second. See you soon.
For everything I fix, another seems to break. For every wound that heals, another seems to ache. For every righteous man, a shout out to them fate. We don't need this. For every hour of our lives that slip away, we want to live, but have I got that the right way? 'Cause all we seem to find is time to pay and pay. We don't need this. We got the curse of common man. Wake up when nothing comes for free. We got the curse of common man. Every time we are too tired to just sleep, for all the stress and all the tears we have to weep, for all our leaders and the secrets that they keep. We don't need this. We got the curse of common man. Wake up when nothing comes for free. We got the curse of common man. The curse
There we go. The Curse of Common Man there by Frequency, ladies and gentlemen. Darren, I don't know if you've been keeping up with the chat, but Di
Mulletober
has
is
said she's going to
definitely
sponsor
a thing.
Mulletober as well.
Definitely, it's a thing. And Bradders, the pictures have got to come out of the loft, mate.
Yeah.
We've got to see the proof.
Josh says, what would the cause be for? Money for all the people that died in the 80s.
Yeah.
I reckon if we're going to do it, we should do it for either a music charity or we should do it for one of the foundations that make wigs for cancer patients.
I mean, you've definitely got to do it because you would get a bloody great Mohican. Can you remember? Could you just think that
That's
that's
not a mullet. A mullet's just short round the sides and long at the back, isn't it?
It can be whatever you want it to be.
I shouldn't be telling you this, Darren. You should know what a mullet is.
I know exactly what one is, and I fucking hate doing them.
I mean, I've seen some of the pictures of your work. Obviously, you sponsored the show and you sent me a load of pics and bits and pieces. It's actually quite artistic, some of the stuff you do now.
It is, to be fair, and a lot of stuff takes it can take some time. Some of the stuff that I really enjoy doing is somebody coming in with the amount of hair that you've got on your head and saying, I want really short, and I love it, absolutely love it, and I have to sweep up about 3 or 4 times because it gets a bit like an ice rink on the floor, because the last thing you want to do is slip up on somebody's hair, because that could hurt.
Yeah, it could. that could hurt a lot. They're saying it could be the Merkin Relief Fund.
Yeah.
Do you deal with Merkins much, Darren?
No.
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 You just head hair, that's all you deal with.
Just head hair.
Right, fair enough. Now we've established that.
What's here as well, which I done my own today.
You're looking well trimmed there, sir.
Half of it, anyway.
And obviously, you did sponsor the show, and you did end up meeting up with Sean and with Phil and with Sarah before I actually did in some cases.
I know. How lucky am I?
I think that's awesome.
Yeah. Now I can't shake Phil off. He just keeps coming back.
Is that one of those services you offer?
He asks for it and he pays good money for it and all.
It's that kind of barbers. Something for the weekend, sir.
Yeah, but he normally comes on a Tuesday, so.
Lucky Phil. That's all I can say. Lucky Phil. So, you and I, we talked a lot down at Bumbles. We have fags and bits and pieces together and have a chat. And one thing that you come back to a lot is motor racing.
Yeah.
Rallying, if I'm 100% on that.
100% right, you are.
So, come on, tell us a bit about your life in motor racing.
So I've only competed twice myself, but I compete as a co-driver. Worryingly, I tell people which way they have to go, and it turns out I'm not so good at reading a map as well as I thought. So when they're supposed to be going left and I tell them go right, it gets a bit hairy, and
Yeah, it's appropriate for you then.
yeah, just not that type of hairy. But yeah, it's great fun. I mean, one thing I will always remember is coming out of what was a flat right, which means when you say flat, you mean go fucking quick. And I look over to what the speed is on the speedo, and it's reading 150 mile an hour, and we are still turning. And I can see the next corner that I've told the driver 4-5 times, 90 left, 90 left, fucking slow down, 90 left, and he eventually does. And the next thing you know, you're sideways and go in the opposite direction. So you go from 150 down to like 30, very bloody quick. And I can say that although on the day it is great fun, for about a week later, you hurt. You hurt all over. Because you've got a 6-point harness on, so you're over the shoulders, round the waist, and through the crutch. And when you brake hard, your crutch feels it. It really does. Especially if the chair isn't quite fitted to your size.
So what sort of level is this at?
So it's just club. It's a bit like it's clubman sport. So I don't do it professionally. I haven't got the money to do that sort of thing. I basically buy a ride. So I will go onto forums and they basically say I need a co-driver. Yeah, and I'll put my name down. And it's like applying for a job. You send them how many events you've done, and you say, right, well, can I come along? Yeah, sure. And normally I'll pay half the entry fee, so that can be anything from £100 up to £200. But it's bloody worth that amount of money. It is so fun.
And what sort of speeds are we talking, and what sort of cars are we driving?
So it depends what budget the driver's got. So I've been in a Honda Civic, which I think was a Mark II Honda Civic. That one, although it was a very light car, it didn't have a very light driver or co-driver. So
you said it, no one else.
yeah, exactly. I didn't actually say it. The driver on the day, that's his exact words. This is going to be interesting. We've got a light car, but not a light co-driver or driver. So yeah, but to be fair, we done very well on that day until we got a puncture in the last second to last stage, and it was a very wet and muddy day. And on the last stage, we decided to go out on wet tyres, and wet tyres on the front and dry tyres on the rear. So the dry tyres were basically what you see drag racers using.
Yeah.
Just tyre, no grooves. So the back end was going here, there and everywhere, and the front end was pointing in the right direction. Which made for a very entertaining ride. And I think we lost it about 4 or 5 times, but came out the other end. Only picked up some minor damage, but it was bloody funny when we were doing it. But then the other car that I've gone out in, one of the other cars I've gone out in is a Mark II Escort, which looks like a Mark II Escort, but when you look underneath, it's far from a Mark II Escort. It's got some of the highest power suspension on, highest power engine in it, a gearbox that you just sit there and you can just go click it forward, click it back, and it goes up and down, and it changes on the spot. And that was a great fun in that car. Bearing in mind, it was the second time I'd ever been out. I never knew the guy. He was a very broad Scotsman, and I'm trying to tell him where to go, and he's turning around and replying to me in Scottish. But it generally, honestly, thought it was a completely different language, because it got to the point I turned around and told him to shut the fuck up because I don't know what you're saying. Just listen to me.
I was going to say, they speak English in Scotland generally these days.
Yeah, it was English, but it didn't sound it. I mean, when you've got a helmet on and you're talking to somebody through a very, very small microphone, and generally their microphone is there. So it's very, very muffled, and when they've got the broad Scots accent, there's no hope. And he's screaming. I'm trying to tell him where to go, but he's also reading back what I'm saying. I'm like, just do as you're told. Don't try telling me where to go, because I ain't going to point us in that direction. But yeah, absolutely love doing it. But I don't compete so much anymore. Well, I haven't for nearly 3 years now. Obviously, with COVID last year, there was a massive lack of motorsport, and I missed it. Really did miss it. But what I tend to do now, so I've always been involved in the organisation side of events, but now I do a lot more of the safety side of things. So I'll be what's known as a safety officer, and I have overall charge of what happens on the event safety side of things. But now I just do recovery, and when the cars are broken, we'll go and pick them up and deal with them and get them back to the service and hopefully see them out on the next stage. But it's sometimes you get very, very muddy, and other days you sit there and if the sun's out you get a bloody good tan.
So Di's mentioned in the chat it's DASNAV. And I see a potential business opportunity here, Darren, for you to record your own sat-nav instructions.
Well, I mean,
obviously you'd have to do it drunk. I mean, sober's going to be boring.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, I struggle to remember my lefts and rights when I'm sober. So don't follow my instructions. Just have it on like you would the radio, just for a laugh. Because I can't imagine you're going to go anywhere that you want to go.
I think it needs to happen. I think we need to talk to Josh, and you can get in the studio and you can sit there and go, turn left, turn left, turn.
Fucking turn left.
Right, next, turn right. For fuck's sake, turn right. You know,
shit, we've gone the wrong way.
It'll be an interesting day.
There. It would. It really would. Get Oggy involved as well.
Oh God, an Oggy and Darren duo on a sat nav. You wouldn't get anywhere. You'd end up back home.
Yeah. And I'll be saying, Oggy, the pub's the other way. You'd end up down the pub no matter where you were going. It would just the instructions would automatically take you down Bumbles. Yeah. It's like when you get into your car. Well, you get into your car, and your phone tells you precisely how many minutes it's going to take to get somewhere. And it was slightly worrying for a while that my phone was telling me that wherever I got into, wherever I was, it was going to take 20 minutes to get to Mr. Bumbles. So,
Di in the chat room has just said, nope, mic Darren up and put him on a track with Oggy driving.
Oh, that would be brilliant.
Please, we need to make, when we can, we need to make this happen. We need a Radio Freak Jam logo slapped on that car as well. You know, it needs to happen.
I mean, I'm not entirely sure what Josh is trying to say after. I mean,
I think he's saying you'd end up in jail. I know he said J-Seal, but I think he means jail.
Yeah, I hope not. As long as it's the pub, I don't mind.
I mean, you know, what do you think the future of like rallying is with self-driving cars? I mean, interesting concept, right?
Hopefully it will never happen. They are trying to bring electric cars into it, and that's slightly concerning when on the recovery trucks we only carry 2 fire extinguishers, and you need a whole heap of fucking water to chuck onto an electric car when it's on fire.
Yeah.
So our 2 fire extinguishers, it ain't gonna work.
In all fairness, you shouldn't put water on an electric fire. Just to clarify the safety of the show and to make sure that people aren't putting water on electric fires, don't do it, people. There's special blankets and foams for that.
Yeah, unless you're the fire brigade, and then they do chuck water on them.
They're trained professionals. They know what they're doing.
Yeah, I mean, after all these years, they've been telling us not to, and now they're telling, go put some water on it. Thousands of gallons. Okay.
Cheers, by the way, sir. We haven't done. Is that water?
No, it's lemonade.
Just lemonade.
Mhm.
You are remarkably sober tonight, Darren.
I know. I've got a job interview at 8:30 tomorrow morning.
Well, I'll tell you what, let's have another song and we'll come back and we can talk about that and talk a few more bits and pieces. Next choice, really, really cool choice. This is from Station House.
I love this one.
And No Barricades.
And Danica likes this one as well.
Danica likes this one. This is a great choice. It's not an obvious one, but it's a really good choice. So this is Little Big Men by Station House. Enjoy.
Hey, little big man.
That was Hey Little Big Men by Station House there, and we must catch up with the Rowan, Sam and Tony at some point in time soon. Lovely, lovely bunch. Great choice, Darren.
It's a great song. I do enjoy that one. Reggae, I like the reggae feel to that song. And,
I was going to say, once I started playing and you were talking about loving the ska and stuff earlier, I was like, yeah, I get it.
Yeah, I do love a bit of reggae.
You mentioned Danica just before we cut to the music. It's a shout out to Danica and all the Bumble staff if you're listening, and I hope you're all well.
Hello to everyone.
So yeah, you got a job interview tomorrow, man.
Yes, it's going to be an interesting one because I've not had a job interview for nearly 7 years. It's in the barbering trade. It's very much you go in and show what you can do, and I've never had to sell myself in a way to get a job like this before. Well, for a long time. So it's going to be interesting. I mean, the most interesting bit's going to be waking up in the morning. As it's going to be at 8:30.
That's the lemonade.
Yeah, that's definitely the lemonade. I might get the JD out after the interview.
So what's that, about 9 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah.
Wake up on the cornflakes.
Too right. Yeah, by the time the lunchtime chat comes around, I'm going to be absolutely wankered.
Yeah, don't forget that, ladies and gentlemen. Well done for reminding us. We've got the lunchtime Zoom tomorrow at 1 o'clock. And a big shout out to Cindy as well. Thank you. She just bought us a coffee. And if you do want to buy us a coffee, go to buymeacoffee.com/Radio FreakJam. So where is this interview for, Darren?
It's going, well, fingers crossed it will be working for Screwfix. And it will give me, it's just a part-time job. Give me something to do during the lockdown and see where it takes me after. I hope there is no way I'm shutting down my business. However, it may give me the chance to knock it on the head with the other barbershop and finally go my own way. It's going to be a lot less hours, so it will give me a lot more time in my barbers.
Cool. Well, that's fantastic. I mean, if it's giving you money and giving you more time to do what you really want to be devoting your time to,
yeah,
I think that's fantastic. So, what COVID allowing and restrictions allowing, what is the future for Darren?
Well, I'd like to branch out and do a little bit more with the barbershop, venture into the training side of things, and just grow the business more and more. Fingers crossed, within time, outgrow the room that I'm in and actually open a fully functioning. I mean, although the room that I'm in is a fully functioning barbershop and I could do everything that a barbershop can, it's not a shop. It is a room within a business centre. But for what I do in there, the fact that we can only run on appointments at the moment, well, predominantly appointments, I don't need a big shop. The 2 chairs, the wash basin is everything I need. So, just grow the business more, see where it takes me, and eventually employ some other people to come along and work with me and earn me some more money. Rather than me being the employee, I'll be the employer.
That'd be fantastic. I mean, I don't know what the hair industry is like. As you can see, I don't sort of use that service very often.
No.
But, I mean, would it be an option to sort of take Tonsorium Lounge into a franchise perspective? Is that something you consider doing?
Yeah, so I'd certainly look into that. I mean, my overall aim is I'd love to stop working. As much as I love going to work and getting up and doing and going and cutting hair on a daily basis, I'd love to get to the point where I can sit back and let other people earn the money for me, but still going and work 1-2 days a week. But at the same time, whilst although I'm not in the shop physically working, I'm looking at where to take the business to next.
Hang about.
I'd love to be in that position.
This is the man who's been in lockdown and he's thought, you know what, I'm not going to sit on my arse and do nothing. I'm going to open a business. Now you're on about getting to a point where you can sit on your arse and do nothing, but you won't. What will you do with that time if that comes about, Darren?
Well, this is the thing. Who knows what will happen? I will probably spend a lot of time in the pub and making out that I'm working from home, but actually having the laptop there with me, so I can be doing some work, but still enjoy my day. But no, seriously, it's one of those things. I don't know what I will do, but I'd love to eventually move back up to Wales. I loved being up there. I had some real brilliant time up there. Love the scenery, and that's where a lot of the motorsport happens. So if I can get closer to it, it'll be perfect. But yeah, I'd love to be in a position where I can sit back and go into barbershops that, although they are mine, but they're franchised out, go in and offer advice on how to grow your business and what to do next, what I would suggest, things I reckon a business should try. And they'll all be things that I've tried myself and been through. So
because you've actually taught barbering as well, haven't you?
Yes, a part of me teaching was right. This is what you have to do to open your own shop. You have to get this in place. You have to get that in place. You have to have this certificate. You have to have that certificate. You've got to have your public liability. Don't even dream of opening a barbershop without it. You've got to, and I'd also help them out with with basic marketing advice. So getting online, watching the Facebook analytics, and see when people are actually going onto your site, and looking at the best time to post your adverts, because a lot of the time, a lot of people, and in a barbershop and in a barbershop environment, a lot of people, and what I've seen with people who I've worked with and shops I've worked in, they'll put an advert up, they'll put some post up on at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. 2 o'clock in the afternoon is when most people are working. Put it up at 7:30 in the morning. You don't have to be awake at that time to put it. Schedule that post. That post is then going to go live. People are then going to sit there and they're going to be eating their breakfast, and it's going to be great. They're going to see what you've put up, what you've scheduled, and you're going to get a much broader post from it that way. So they're things that I've learnt over time by doing a lot on Facebook, and I have to say, over the past 8-9 months, I've learnt a lot more about how Facebook works and how to work with an online business.
That's because you hooked up with young Di.
It is, certainly is, and it is great what they do.
Well, you see, I mean, people think of marketing as a black art. And it is in some ways, but it is all about, looking at your trends, seeing when people are most active with your business, at what time of day that is. And there are certain times of day. Breakfast, as you say, lunchtime is a pretty good one as well, when people have got fuck all else to do but browse Facebook. About 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock at night, when people have got in from work, settling down, had their dinner, flicking through Facebook. This is how it works. So, it really is a black art. I mean, with the FreakJam group, 2 o'clock in the morning, you post something there, you get a massive hit rate. It's fantastic.
Yeah, and then you also get the people that sit there and think, why are you still up? And then you sit there and think, well, it's the FreakJam lot, so you could be up at any time of day.
They're probably up making dance tunes.
Yeah. I mean, funny you should say that. I've even had a go. And as we said, I have no musical talent, and I'm definitely not going to send it to you tomorrow, because it won't be ready for tomorrow.
When's it going to be ready?
Who knows?
If it's ready by next Monday, right? Send it to me. And I will make an allowance for you, Darren, because I want to hear this. I truly want to hear this. I have challenged a bunch of middle-aged rockers to make a dance track. They've got an idea about what music is and how to make it and bits and pieces like that. You're not a musician, as you say, so I'm really interested to hear this.
I mean, I used to when I was at school, I used to sit in the sound box and, like I am now, my headphones on, and I'd make sure that the sound quality was good coming out the other end. When it comes to recording and doing stuff like that, building something, I haven't the first clue. But it's alright. Yes, Phil Reese, you are middle-aged. You may not look it, but you actually are.
It's only because of his haircut he looks young, Darren.
Definitely is.
Since you started cutting his hair, he's getting ID'd for fags and boozing off licences.
I know. It's great. I wish I could do the same for myself, but I can't.
Well, please, you've got to send me your track. I mean, I will give you special dispensation for stepping in at last minute for me tonight and doing this. We want to hear your track. I think it's, again, some wonderful stuff's come from Radio FreakJam, and one of those elements is the creativity and people getting involved with these little harebrained schemes that we come up with and the challenges that Tony sets and all this sort of stuff. And to see you actually picking up some software and giving this a try, I'm excited, man.
I didn't pick up some software. Oh shit, I'm throwing the chocolate on the floor. Shit, it's not in the fridge. But I've even gone out and bought myself one of these.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, it's a great bit of kit if you know how to use it.
You just press buttons and twiddle knobs and get sounds. And I think that's,
that's what I've been doing.
The really fun thing about the dance challenges is, dance is such a wide genre to look at. You can go through everything from trance through to sort of happy house, through to hardcore.
Oh, yeah.
There's lots of different genres of dance out there that you can play with, and a lot of it involves twiddling knobs and making weird sounds, and it's quite liberating. It's quite fun.
One of my most, going back to when I used to do discos and weddings and stuff like that, my favourite time was when it would get to the point where everyone's absolutely hammered, that it wouldn't matter what you put on, they're going to dance to it. So I'd take full advantage of that, and I would put dance stuff on. And you sit there and you wish you put it on at 10 o'clock at night, because by 12:30 people are absolutely hammered. But it's the wrong time to put it on because they just don't want to bloody leave. But it was great. It was really good fun. I mean, I was never good at reading the audience and what they liked. That's probably why I didn't last too long doing it. But I had some great fun doing it.
Right, Darren, it's a 50th birthday party. Right, Shaggy. We need. It wasn't me. That's what we need.
You should have seen some of the playlists I used to get. They were highly amusing. There's one that I will never forget, and it was one of the last discos I ever done. And some of the music that was on there, I sat there and I thought, what are you guys on? And it was the 60th birthday party, and the majority of the people that were there, they were really, really old. So they were the grandparents and the parents of the 60-year-old. And, well, they certainly showed the youngsters in that room how to dance. It was bloody amazing. But yeah, I think their hips hurt for a couple of days after.
Are you much of a dancer, Darren?
No. No.
But next week you will be doing a bit of kitchen dancing with us as we pump out some Radio FreakJam beats for everyone. Yeah. We've seen your mum kitchen dancing.
Yep, you have, and there'll be no camera in sight to see me kitchen dancing. And if Abby is watching, please do not send Ian any of the videos you have of me dancing.
If Abby is watching, please send me any of the videos you have of Darren dancing. Cheers, hon.
And Danica, if you are still watching, if I find out you've told Abby to send them, I will not be impressed.
And Danica, if you are watching still, tell Abby to send me said videos. Don't say things like that, Darren. If you don't want it to happen, you don't need to let me know. Bearing in mind, Abby's just a message away on Facebook.
That's true, and I know she's a bit like Tim. She's got an archive of embarrassing things.
Oh, I wish I'd have known that before tonight.
Yep, hence why I kept that one close to me.
Well, look, you need to make all of us a promise now, not just me, but everyone watching, that you will get this dance track to me before next Monday.
That means I've got to do something and actually really understand the system that I'm using.
You've got a week.
That's all right. So, is 8:59 an acceptable time to send it next Monday?
No. I'll need it by lunchtime.
All right.
Monday lunchtime.
All right then. Done deal.
Wicked, because we all need to hear that. They're all saying in the chat room, do it. And Josh is even saying he'll give you a one-on-one lesson.
Oh.
I don't know what in, but
That's the worrying thing.
that's the thing of beauty, mate. You shouldn't turn that down.
Indeed. I certainly won't, because I know he's using exactly the same software as I've got and the same thingy.
Well, look, Darren, talking to Josh, you've also selected one of his tracks, so I think we'll play out with that tonight. Mate, thank you so much for taking some time out. Not just tonight, but, you have been with us from the start of this, watching in the chat room. You've joined us as a co-host. You've kept us updated with the pub. You've been on quiz nights and Zooms, and you've been a massive, massive part of the group. And I want to thank you for that, because obviously, you've been a massive connection to Bumbles for us as well. And, we miss the place. And, again, shout out to everyone there and Phipps and everyone. And stay safe. And, look, any messages to anyone before you leave us?
Yeah, just the normal thing. Don't be a dick. It's not my line, but don't be a dick. And another one is don't spill your pot noodle on the kitchen side before you go to eat it, like I did tonight.
That shit sets, man.
It fucking does. And it was a big clear-up job. It was worse than clearing up sick in the pub. Anyway, to the track.
We will see you Thursday. We have got Lee Attaway of the What If generation sitting in the co-host seat this week. We have got the dance show on Monday the 1st. We've got Zoom tomorrow at lunchtime. We have got the lunchtime live on Wednesday. Nothing special planned for that. We'll just play some music and bits and pieces. That'll be cool.
I reckon you should let the kids host that one.
We're working on so again. It's all about pressing buttons and systems. But I mean, Evie's a bit shy. Morgan will probably just do it. He doesn't care. But it's But this is why they're joining me. We're trying to get Evie's confidence up and just give him a bit of a break and do something different.
Tony used to be shy.
She still is.
Not so much anymore.
Yeah, we'll see you soon, guys. So we'll see you tomorrow for a Zoom. We're going to play out with Open Your Eyes from Days Remain. Again, these are all Darren's requests. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, guys. And look after yourselves. Stay safe. And as Darren says, don't be a dick.
Been
I can't be trusted, can't be trusted alone. You'd say you're the same as me, you're not so perfect, not the same anymore.